Giants have emerged from their strongholds to threaten civilization as never before. Hill giants are stealing all the grain and livestock that they can, while stone giants have been scouring settlements that have been around forever. Fire giants are press-ganging small folk into the desert, while frost giants' long ships have been pillaging along the Sword Coast. Even the elusive cloud giants have been witnessed, their wondrous floating cities appearing above Water's Deep and Baldur's Gate. Where is the storm giant King Hecaton, who is tasked with keeping order among these giants? What the lands of Faerun, the elves and the dwarves, the humans and the halflings, and the gnomes and the dragonborn need right now is a group of heroes to raise and take on this threat and ensure continued peace in the lands. And maybe one day they'll get round to it.
Talk on the streets and taverns of Baldur's Gate has turned to a death curse, a mysterious ailment afflicting anyone who has passed through the doors of death and returned. A wasting disease that seems them sliding back towards the death they once denied, and the doors of death seem to have sealed tightly shut, meaning that nobody can return from beyond them. Temples and scholars are at a loss to explain this mysterious death curse. A dark power grows in the jungles of Chult, a mysterious peninsula far to the south, ringed by mountains and choked by rainforests. The death curse and this dark power seem to be intertwined, and those suffering from the curse seek to bring an end to it. Heroes have been chosen for this task, but they have not returned, and time runs short for those seeking to avoid a second painful death. And so now it seems that it is time for new heroes to rise. Will they succeed where others have failed, or will they be doomed to wander lost in the jungles of Chult forever? Hello, and welcome to this final boss fight live stream of Dungeons & Dragons. This sounds like it might be a very bad idea, but we'll find out soon. My name is John, and I'm joined by Sean. I'm not sure who that was. I am joined by Sean.
Hello.
Amy.
Hello.
I nearly said my own name. Sean.
Hi.
And Sammy.
Hello, and I can confirm we are also joined by yourself.
I'm also here.
What are you?
What are you, though?
Am I?
Truthfully, not any of us.
Yes, I am. We are here to play some Dungeons and Dragons, and...
Wait, we are? You never told me this.
Oh, okay.
We would actually let us know, John. Fuck.
So guys, we're here to play some D&D. We just luck rolled 21 D100s in a row, because we can do that with magical E-dice. I mistyped the luck roll and nearly rolled 21, and then we all just decided to try it.
Yeah. Best results, but...
Yeah, we got a real mixed bag in there. Several natural hundreds. Oh no, just one natural 100.
Just the one natural 100.
Several natural ones, I think.
Several natural ones. That is very much on par with Roll20's dice system.
Yes.
Anyway, D&D is what we're here to play.
That was a lamenting groan of ever. Oh.
I mean, I think there's something special in it that just targets Gunter's trained skills. Because everything that he's not trained at, he does surprisingly well at. But as soon as he's proficient in a skill, he can't roll over a 10.
Tell me about it. Last time Barum couldn't fucking use his strength.
Tell me about it. Whenever I play any sort of religious character, I can't roll religion for shit.
But you keep trying.
As I just say,
keep trying, because I'm the religious one.
as I just say, roll 20. You're good at something, you will suck at it.
Anyway, we are here to play some D&D with people who may or may not suck at it.
There's no way to say it, John.
When last you guys met up, you had fought a ghost in Eventide Abbey and freed the spirit of Elanil, Elisar's ancient ancestor. Hey, Hawk.
Or as I like to call her, an even more annoying version of Riadan.
And she bestowed upon Nephirin an oath bow, which I don't think I've actually put on Nephirin's character sheet now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I can't remember whether you did or not.
She bestowed a bow after kicking our asses first.
Yeah.
Bear with me while I do the thing I should have done between sessions.
Didn't do too badly.
Well, you and me got pretty roughed up, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but then that's normal from Elventree.
Okay, so why did that just add twice? Why?
Because I have lots of them, clearly.
Good question, John. Why?
Almost went Christopher Walken there.
Why?
Why?
You then travelled back to town. Town.
Back to town.
Back to town.
The Battle of Orvis. Other Brits are available.
And upon arriving back in Elventree, you were met by a messenger from your little keep, who brought a letter for Theodas. For Theodas?
Yes?
From Theodas to
Because
Barum.
If he brought it for Theodas,
He got it very lost.
Missed his mark.
He got very lost along the way.
Hey, you've met him once. You can probably give him this letter.
You'll see him at some point.
From Theodas to Barum Deep Basher, And while he was doing that, he also happened to bring Malzere's mail.
Yeah.
Just because it was convenient. And so we ended the last session with Malzere and Barham receiving some news from people and sharing that information with some people.
Literally with each other.
With each other.
Yeah, literally each other. Me and Neverin and Squeak don't know any of this.
Yep.
Squeak knows a bit.
Squeak knows more than you think she might.
Well... Oh yeah, Christian knows. She knows the contents of yours at the very least.
Not Mal's, but Baron's, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
Mal hasn't told anyone.
But I don't count, apparently, for Mal.
Oh,
Thank you.
alright, besides you, he hasn't told anyone else.
Anyway, we will pick up the... Unless there's anything else you guys wish to do the night that you spent in the tavern.
Sleep.
We will pick up the...
I was half expecting someone to say burn the tavern, but
We will pick up the following morning as you were in the... Oh, what was the name of it? We named it. It was something Root.
yep, the beer root.
I'll bear it, yeah.
Root beer.
Root Beer Tavern.
Root beer.
Nerd.
Hold on.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, I thought no one interested you in this bar.
The idea was we ended it with us having a drink. Someone eventually did. It's like, you can go for that one.
Having a drink turned into more drinks, which
Yeah.
turned into slightly bigger interest range.
How many drinks did we have?
A number.
Probably a few.
Several.
I'm just gonna roll one
Me and Neverin
random
probably
five.
polished off at least one while you two were discussing.
9 drinks.
You...
Roll a 1d10. Nice.
Waffleman says they're going to be blipping in and out, but they are here.
Good. I'm glad you are here.
You wake up
Enjoy your
with...
blipping.
You wake up with various levels of headache and a dislike of the light that is streaming in through the window at this point. It is sort of middle of the morning, about 10 o'clock in the morning, because you've got no reason to wake up. You do still have any madness. You do still have the madness level that was affecting you. You don't need to roll for new madness.
Oh, what does it do?
At this point, nothing.
Okay. We're just a bit cookie.
You're just a bit off. As you guys all get up and start to head downstairs, you come to the common room of the Root Beer Tavern. And Squeak has ordered breakfast.
Ah,
It's nice bed. It's nice to be in a bed. Oh.
Squeak is an early bird.
The early bird catches the worm.
I don't want worms.
but refuses to eat it.
Second mouse gets the cheese.
We eat breakfast.
Eats and nommels the breakfast of breakfastness.
As I come down to the main room, basically it's not very clear if I'm still sleepy or drunk. But I will nom the breakfast as it is served. Basically, eating like a pig.
It is a breakfast of eggs and bacon.
Nom.
Nom's in Celestial.
What does that sound like?
It's very
I don't know.
it's very sing-song.
Nom. Nom.
It's poetic in a way.
If you continue with that tune, it gets vaguely Star Wars.
Nom. 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 Nom.
You have to just hope he finishes eating quickly, otherwise you get this whole tune.
Suddenly, this weird text starts scrolling up across the page.
You just wave it away from in front of you.
Alright, whilst we're doing this then, I'll kind of slink off to a corner and reply to letter.
Okay. Do you want to let me know at some point what that reply reads?
I can tell you like in the secrets, like the general gist of it.
Cool. Yeah, let's go over there and do that.
Yeah, let's do that. I will tell him, I would love to see him. I'm not too sure what is going on about the whole changing attitude thing, because as far as Malzare is concerned, he doesn't realize it. But he also says, there's other people here, I don't want a mass amount of trouble. And would put like a kind of note at the end saying like, I think we need to talk as well.
I don't know, but I think Sean's letter might be better.
But shut up.
Okay.
That's it. Hi.
So Malzare,
If I really correctly guessed the content of the letter.
it's surprisingly accurate, yeah.
Yeah.
So Malzare just kind of slinks off into a corner and just scribbles for a little while.
And then I send it.
He slinks off to send it. And he slinks back.
He's a slinky one, that Malzare.
Yeah,
It's a slinky one.
I'm a snake.
Drawn.
Okay.
Lovely.
As you guys are settled in the tavern, Elanil will enter. And just sort of
Cool.
sweepingly looks around the room for a second. And then sees you.
I mean, we're hard to miss.
I want to know what you mean.
And comes across to your table and sits down.
I think the bird kind of gives it away.
Beautiful bird.
Yeah, of course you are.
Preen's feathers.
Aw.
Elanil sits down at the... Elanil sits down at the table. Thank you for what you did for my family. I regret that I have more to ask of you.
Okay.
You may be aware from your travels of recent unrest within the cityscape of Hilsfar.
Yes.
We have been made aware of.
First Lord Torin Normafell.
No, that's right then.
I was like, when did he become a lord, this one?
Has passed the first great law of trade. Reinstated the law that only humans may live within Hilsfar. And
Racist prick.
yes.
Such a way with words.
No, I agree. Racist prick.
Yeah, I'll third that.
I mean, I'm not disputing the use of it.
Racist prick, says Squeak.
I thumbs up squeak.
Squeak shoots a thumbs up back.
Well, since we're at it, Cat grabs cup. Racist prick!
Elanil grabs a cup and sort of cheers with you but doesn't say it.
I just imagine all the bars that are near, hearing us loudly say as we drink, "Racist prick!"
I have been working with a number of concerned individuals who are
Okay.
attempting to find out what is going on and maybe facilitate a change in regime.
Okay.
Right.
So you're looking to depose him or off him?
We are not certain of that just yet.
Right.
We would like to do this as peacefully as possible.
That's not really. We don't really do peaceful. Just want you know.
Well, we're perfectly capable of doing it. It's just the fact that
Yeah, but it rarely ever ends that way, does it?
we try.
I have a simple first task for you that will hopefully lead to possibly a less simple second task.
Well, then the idea of the first task.
We need to gain some intel on his movements. We can't do anything while he is in Hilsfar itself, so we need to know if he is planning to travel anywhere. The problem is that that information will be in Hilsfar.
Where we... Did you say we now can go or still can't go?
Legally, looking the way you do, looking the way I do,
Looking the way any of us do.
we can't.
I don't suppose anyone's got disguised self.
But I have contacts on the inside
Oh, why didn't you say so?
who can get you in.
Nice.
There is a ball to be held at the palace.
A ball?
My contacts in the Hilsfar Thieves Guild, she mutters the words Thieves Guild under her breath, suggests that this might be the perfect cover for you to get into the palace and retrieve the intel on where First Lord Normafell is going to be. We have reason to believe that he has scheduled a trip in the coming weeks to visit the new fortress he has built.
But we don't know when he's going to go there.
But we don't know exactly when he's going to go there.
So we must find out.
If you guys would like to make a quick history check,
Ooh, those are always fun.
I can
No,
give that
no,
a whirl.
respectfully refuse.
Well,
I mean,
I can do a history check. I can't guarantee if it's,
quality.
No.
Can.
Yeah, that's about right.
You see, it wasn't religion.
Let's see how Squeak does.
Come on, Squeak, succeed it.
Yeah, Squeak does succeed it. I'm apparently whispering as Squeak at the moment for... Oh, I remember why. Won't say why, but for reasons.
Sexy reasons.
Malzere, Calderax, and Squeak all recall... Squeak obviously can't verbalize it. But there was recently... somewhere between your keep and Hilsfar, in that sort of day and a half to 2 days worth of travel, there was an incident with a sinkhole forming that opened up into the Underdark.
Sorry, I just heard sinkhole falling. Yay!
Yes, I decided to start screaming and wooing and yaying outside my windows.
That was at the perfect moment, actually.
That person was very excited.
Sinkholes, whee!
I love random geological events!
A sinkhole opened and formed an entrance to the Underdark. The locals in the area, it's sort of amongst the farmland that is between your keep and Hilsfar, have been calling it the Way Down.
Okay.
And
Such imagination, it could be dwarves.
And the Hilsfar Guard, the Red Plumes, have established a garrison there and are building a permanent keep there. And so it would make sense that the Lord of Hilsfar would travel to see the construction work, or possibly the finished construction work.
Cool.
Well,
Interesting.
Indeed.
Elanil leans in again. I believe that you have the set of skills required for both this and the follow-up work.
the follow-up.
The thing that we'll be able to do if we're successful in this first thing,
Okay.
which may or may not involve offing this Lord guy.
Oh, well. If it involves offing, then I'm in for it.
Offing?
Killing.
Ah. Yeah, we're good at that.
I say that like in a whisper, by the way, so no one else.
Kill it! There's just loads of glasses clink in the distance. Just yeah.
I mean, at this point, I think there is a reasonable circle around us of deserted tables due to the fact that we're fucking loud.
Neferin, Elanil will lean across to you and hand you a roughly drawn map
Ah, thank you.
and just give you directions to a secret entrance to Hilsfar, and explains that her contact will meet you there.
Neff will show Squeak,
Squeak.
just in case anything happened to the note, so that we have a copy of it.
Squeak will memorize and be able to reproduce the note.
Woo.
Baron will pick at it and instantly forgets what's it about.
What's this map for?
Caldrax will give it a cursory glance and ignore it because someone else has set up. Troll.
Malzare won't even bother.
I love the fact that we all have very different reactions to this map.
So I guess this is something that needs to be acted on fairly swiftly.
Yes, the party is going to be happening this evening.
This evening?
This evening?
They will be taking on workers today.
What? What? Okay.
You know, waiting staff
Yeah.
and the like.
And is that our inn? Are they happy with non-human servants?
No.
No.
But we do have... The Thieves Guild has secured a way around that.
Do tell.
They have some scrolls that will allow you to disguise yourself as humans.
Dumb humans are tall.
Neff will lean over to Barm. Only temporarily, it's fine.
You're sure?
Yes.
I don't want to stay. And also, I want to stay a giant for all my fucking life.
It's gonna be weird being human.
When we're human again, only human again.
Turns to Melzire. Are you having a new song in your head already?
I mean, if they accept entertainers there, that's a bonus.
I'm loving the idea that Barham was like half a beat behind on the saying this evening.
Yeah, basically it's like, this evening? Why could we say that?
Anyway! I suppose we gotta get a fucking move on if we gotta get there by tonight.
Yes.
Well, let's fucking go.
Are there any supplies that would be useful, you think, to take with us? And do we have time to stop off and grab some? If so. Yeah, arrows being one of these things.
If you need...
Like 4.5 cubic tons of arrows now.
I mean, I've got 39, so...
If you need additional arrows, that would be a wise idea to make sure that you are stocked up on them.
Do we also perhaps need to take some potions of healing? Did any get used, or are we all good? If we
I've got 2 of them.
I think I've got a potion, but at the same time, I heals, so...
I have a potion of vitality. I don't know what that does.
It gives you temporary hit points.
Squeak has a potion of healing.
Okay.
I have 1 potion of healing as well.
I got supreme healing, which we can use in emergencies.
Cool. I think we are good. How's Squeak doing for arrows, John?
Squeak has 30 arrows.
Nice.
That'll be fine.
And 15 crossbow bolts. And a straw.
39 arrows. 39 will be enough, surely. Let's get some
maybe.
more. Screw it. Let's have another 20. How much is
Could
that?
maybe stop to buy some more javelins, because I only got 4 of those.
We'll do a quick shopping stop.
Javelin.
And I've got so much money that I need to actually buy some stuff.
Why don't you just have a price on you, Javelin? So 20 arrows will set you back a gold piece.
Okie dokes.
That says Juvelin,
Aw.
John.
My numbers have had a falling out and are facing away from each other. I've got 96 gold.
Oh. A javelin will cost you 5 silver.
Okay, so 6 javelins will cost me 30.
Cost you 30 silver or 3 gold.
Alright, 3 gold it is. 2, 3, 4, 5. Also,
Yes.
I has a question.
Okay.
Is there anywhere where I can buy new weapons?
What would you be interested in buying?
Anything I don't have.
Okay, I'll look at what you do have, and
I have a great sword, a light hammer, javelin, I got talon, I got a morning star, I got a hand axe. I feel I could have some more stuff.
Well, you have this you can have this Congrana string.
Technically, I don't have a warhammer, I could use that. It's in my proficiencies.
the local shop at Elventree that I don't think we've ever named, but the general store will have a warhammer in for 15 gold.
Sold! I told you I got too much money.
The elven owner of the shop hands you over the warhammer and said, "Thank you, we've had that in for a very long time, and I didn't think we were ever going to sell it."
Don't worry, I'm starting a collection.
As he hands it over to you, he just kind of blows, and a plume of dust comes off of it.
Wow.
I just take it and I look at him like, dude, how dare you leave such a beautiful thing in the dust? Also, how much weight for a while?
2 pounds.
Only 2. My morning star is more heavy than that.
Oh,
Morningstar is 4, which is surprising.
interesting.
Even Talon is more heavy than that. Actually, all my weapons are more heavy than that.
I'm curious. Yeah, that's weird. Cool.
Peculiar.
It's apparently the same weight as my light hammer.
Yeah. I'm wondering if there's a problem with the D&D Beyond weight of a warhammer.
There might be, because I don't think a warhammer would be that.
No, that's the weight that is on Roll20 as well.
Wow.
But what are the stats for a warhammer?
Oh, it's 1d8.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also versatile. You can use it two-handed, in which case it does 1d10.
Okay, so hold on, warhammer two-handed. And it's pure strength, right?
Yeah, it does bludgeoning damage.
The 1d8 strength plus 0.
Yes.
Crit? Anything on the crit?
No, it just does normal crit damage.
Okay. And the attack is strength normal?
Yep.
Up 5 feet. Alright. I will go directly to Malveray and expose him my new acquisition. Very
Nice.
proudly.
Looks a bit old.
You look a bit old.
I'm 18.
Oh, poor Babu.
Ugh.
Have I told you my age?
No?
141.
What? I thought you were
What?
like in your 60s or something.
I'm not a kid. God damn it.
So, what happened 100 years ago?
Well, I woke up, probably had a bath and a breakfast, and went to kill something.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Neff just nods in the background.
Neff agrees with this. Yeah, I did the same.
Just to remind you, Amy, -3 in history would mean I have no idea what happened in
We're
100 years.
lucky if he knows what happened last week.
Surprisingly, that description does also fit with what happened last week.
Yeah,
Love it.
that's how Baron remembers days. He always does the same thing.
You guys set out from Elventree, and you follow the directions given by Elanil, and they prove to be very accurate. As you follow the deer run, the trees give way to a small clearing, and in front of you is a tree that has been overturned, most likely due to the weather. Barham, you got it in the wrong order there a little bit. The enormous roots of the tree form a tangle where the tree lifted the ground underneath it as it fell. Would you guys like to make me an investigation check, please?
Yes, please.
I can attempt such a thing.
I can try.
An investigation,
Investigation! 15 motherfuckers!
and watch me fail.
We all did.
Watch me
Never
fail.
mind.
And that's not even natural.
Nope.
That was a 2.
Everybody but Barham notices the tree roots conceal a set of stairs made of packed earth that go into the ground. Barham, you notice a pretty bird that goes by.
Okay, I'm trying to smack it with my new warhammer to test it.
Hey, Barum. This way.
Mm.
and gestures towards the. See, stairs.
Ooh, stairs. And so?
Ooh,
We were
plastic.
looking for a secret entrance, and this is possibly it.
Cool. What's the secret entrance again? Where are we going?
You find out.
Oh,
in
you
time.
people!
What year is it?
Where's my grandson?
Oh my god.
Have I had breakfast yet?
It's time for a second breakfast.
Time for 11sies.
The stairs head about 15 feet below the surface, then stop at a passage that leads north towards Hilsfar itself. You travel for about 2 miles under the ground.
Nice.
How does Mal feel about walking underground again?
Oh yeah, shit. How big is it?
It's 10 to 20 feet wide. Ceilings are 20 feet high to 40 feet in some places.
Oh right, so it's fine.
It's you know, it's not nice. It's dark, but that's fine. You guys can all see in the dark except for Squeak, who has a lantern.
As long as it's not like too narrow, I'm alright.
The walls and floor are made of packed earth. It's not a incredibly stable floor.
Well then. Architects and dwarves, so I shouldn't really expect much. Well, I wouldn't really know myself, but you're the expert.
Yes, I am.
I'm just gonna skip the segment of this text that mentions smell.
Why?
Oh, but I want to know.
The foul smell.
Smells of dookie.
Well, you are walking in the sewers, so yes.
See? Told you.
While you're here, are you also going to describe it as moist?
I'm going to go.
Nice.
I'm going to do you one better than that. I'm going to read the next box text now.
Hang on. I'm going to cast prestidigitation and like the area just around me smell like perfume, so I can't smell it.
The dank passage.
Mm-hmm. How dank is it, John?
It's gotten progressively more dank as you have approached this irregular-shaped room.
An appropriate amount of dankness.
It's quite dank.
It is quite dank.
Most of the irregular-shaped walls are made of the same packed earth as the walls of the tunnel that you've just walked down. However, there is a wide patch of wall across the entrance that is reinforced with well-fitting stone blocks, and you can hear the faint smell of running water from the other side of the stone wall. You hear the faint smell?
You would hear the faint smell of
You smell the faint sound of...
the taste of fish.
I don't know where that come from. You can hear the faint sound of running water from the other side of the stone wall. There are no other exits from this room. Beside the wall, and seated on a rock with a silk handkerchief draped over the well-dressed, over their mouth and nose, is a well-dressed, immaculately groomed human female wearing filthy leather boots.
What?
Filthy leather boots.
As you approach, she stands up and happily shakes your hands.
Hi?
Hello. My name is Istana.
Nice to meet you.
Waves. I'm Barum.
I guess that you are the people that I have been asked to bring into the city.
I would hope so, yeah.
Yep, that's us.
Are you ready?
I mean, I'm ready to get out of here, if that's what you mean.
I think as we'll ever be.
Isthana approaches the stone wall. It's a solid stone wall. And runs her hands gently over a few of the bricks. And as she does so, the outline of a door appears in the wall.
It's Hogsmeade!
Hogsmeade.
Follow me closely. You can get lost quite easily in the underbelly of the great city of Hilsfar.
I suppose you're right.
I imagine it's fairly fast.
It is also fairly dank.
How dank?
What's the scale parameters for
On a
dankness?
scale of 1 to 10.
I just want a t-shirt with Calorex's face on it, and just how dank is it written just under it.
Technically, I want that t-shirt, but with all of my characters on it.
I mean,
Because after all, Corin was the first one to
Yeah.
question how dank. Actually,
No.
question, it was Karash.
it
Karash
was.
was the first one.
As he also questioned us on volcanic glass.
Volcanic glass? No one knows of that.
In games that never made it to air. Actually, no, they did make it to air just very long ago and are no longer available.
Aww.
Remember me.
Isthana leads you hurriedly through the tunnels of Hilsfar sewer, clearly not very happy to be here herself.
Don't worry, we don't like still walking for a fucking sewer. Jumped up.
It's quite easy for you to notice that she is very familiar with the maze of intersecting passages.
Cal, are you just one of those people who likes to take a shower when you get like a speck of dirt on you?
No, I mean, after all, we've not been able to have a proper bathe for, well, not since this morning, actually. But either way.
Exactly,
But
so stop complaining.
But either way, we now have to walk through a sewer.
Look, I'm not happy either, but we gotta get through it.
Fine.
I extend the prestidigitation so the perfume gets to him as well. I'm just like, is that better?
Suddenly, Caldorax, it smells of perfume.
I mean, it's fairly nice.
Good. Let's go.
Your group has travelled through many of the tunnels under the city. As you approach another crossing, you hear the thrashing of water and the squeak of what must be dozens of rats.
The squeak. Is this where Squeak got her name by meeting these rats?
No.
The rats go, squeak! Running up to her.
It's at this point I wonder what I have that can be the rats.
We're not
Do you have
playing the
any
rats, are we?
rats?
My horse!
Apparently, not horses, whatever they are.
The horses run off, they were scared.
I should hope the horses aren't here.
How big is a sewer rat?
It depends on the sewer.
Unless it's a giant sewer rat, then it's a giant one.
Bear with me a moment while I work out how big of a token I need.
First mission of the day, fight the rats.
Not that
Can
type
hear
of
them
rat.
somewhere.
You round a corner and you can see a horde of rats swarming over a large object floating in the water.
Ew.
Oh.
Question, John.
Yes.
How high goes the water?
That is a good question.
That is a good question.
Because because I'm only 4 foot high myself, I want to know if I am knee deep, waist deep, or shoulder into fucking water.
Going to have to tie his beard up and over his head to keep it safe.
The water is only a foot deep.
So for me, it's
So
1/4 of me is in water.
knee deep,
Yeah.
Even more than knee deep, actually.
A little bit above.
little bit over knee.
Yeah.
So basically, when I hear counteracts playing about, we're in a sewer, I just look at them like, fucking serious?
What?
And I just point at me completely immersed in fucking water.
Oh. Well, that's kind of a you problem, isn't it?
Fucking believe it.
For now, this
This gentleman is a rat.
this gentleman is a swarm of rats.
Why is this gentleman everything except the gentleman in question?
Because I forgot to make tokens.
Rats. You could just grab them from the library, I guess.
I could, but I also actually can I?
Yeah,
I would have thought they'd have rats.
just tap rats and they have rat tokens.
Let's see. Oh no, let's type.
The most common fucking creature in the entire world. I would have thought they'd have a rat.
Ah, there we go.
Be gone, random commoners.
They can go away.
Through rats.
6-pack of rats. Nom 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 nom.
No.
Splosh.
Kaplooey. And for me, these fucking halflings are still throwing fireworks around.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
They're having a real party while you guys left.
Oh my god.
It's amazing to hear that you can actually hear them across the entire country.
Do you guys want to arrange yourself into a marching order of some description?
Going that way, I suppose.
Yes.
Alright. Are we like in a straight line or can we scatter a bit?
You can scatter a little bit.
I'll be. Well, I was next to Bar.
You're in approximately a 40-foot square. So you've got a bit of space.
Baron would have gone a bit beyond you because of, you saying it's a you, probably be like, are you fuck your
Alright, I'll step back. I'll be here.
That's not the right
No,
thing.
not too far, like yeah. Like
Fine,
this.
I'll be there then!
Stay with me.
Don't leave me now.
Right, let's see if this works.
Are we initiative thing?
If you could kindly.
Alright.
Kindly.
Oh, wait. Select two.
Would you kindly?
Would you kindly?
Would you kindly
Oh,
roll
you're
initiative?
like the tracking, you fucking twit!
So we've got a 10, an 11, and a 12.
There.
And a 13 now.
Hmm.
Come on,
Oh,
Squeak.
sweet.
14 or 9.
9.
999?
And then just watch the
What's your
fucking
emergency?
rats kick our ass on initiative.
Oh, speak.
Squeak will be along momentarily after I add all of the rats.
After these messages.
I dare hope
Have you got a rat problem?
That isn't your fault.
It isn't your fault. Have you had a trip or fall at work
That was a rat's
And-
fault.
involving giant rats? Or the rats are after you? Do you see them watching you with their beady little eyes? Then maybe you're nuts.
There were, in fact, no rats.
There were in fact no rats. You live in a small padded cell.
There weren't even windows. Silly you.
Squeak gets to go first.
Hey!
And Squeak will do what Squeak do. She's go 5, 10, 15.
Imitate stuff and kill shit.
Yeah. And she's all out of imitations.
Yeah, dog.
I mean, she could Squeak to them.
Now
Maybe
that.
enter a sort of communication.
She pulls out a short bow and fires it into the squad of rats.
Squad.
Squad goals. Rat squad goals.
And hits
Oh boy.
and causes 17 points of damage. The arrow skitters to a halt, sort of embedded through about 4 rats.
Kebabs.
Turns to Nephrin. Is that your vision of food?
No, thankfully not.
She turns to Nephrin as Nephrin yells at, "That's not cooking! I could get diseases!"
Yes, you could, Squeak. Yes, you could.
What?
It's wonderful to see Squeak form more and more diverse sentences.
I'm curious to see the...
I actually need Squeak to learn the TF2 engineer's conundrum of philosophy. Because I just want her to say that once.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Ooh. That is a 13.
13.
A 13.
Well, they are biting my armor.
Tank, 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 tank.
Oh shit! You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to buy new armor. Can I just say I bought new armor, please?
Yes.
Sorry,
What
how much would it be?
what armor would you be buying?
It would be studded leather.
Why have I got caps lock on?
I don't know.
That would have been amazing if Malzira just suddenly went into the sewer as was trying to fight the fucking rat. Oh fuck, I forgot armor! And we all turned to Malzira like, dude.
How much would it be?
45 gold.
45. Okay, I'll do that. Oh shit, math.
Yeah, you guys just turn around and realise that Maltere's come this whole way in his boxer shorts.
Alright, so is it half movement because we're in water at all?
No, it's not that bad.
Alright, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Do I fuck these guys up instantly? You know what? I think I will. Hi.
Squeak.
Didn't you risk to be attacked right here?
No, I walked around it.
Okay.
Rat noises.
Squeak, 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 squeaky,
Ooh,
squeaky.
do I be... I doubt they have high health, so fuck it. There we go.
Constitution checks.
Just watch as they are like the most versatile and
Squeak.
vital rats.
Did you use Thunder Wave in water?
It doesn't say anywhere that it's bad.
And
to do
I'm
it.
wearing metal.
It doesn't technically thunders is the concussive wave of noise, not electric.
Yeah. So you're fine.
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah, it's not lightning wave. So that would be 19 points of damage, halved to
9.
9.
Well,
Nine.
10. If it's rounded up, then it's 10.
It is not.
Oh, fuck.
It's always rounded up below.
Alright.
That guy takes the full 19.
Wait, what?
Well, there's more than one rat, so it's a swarm.
Oh
of
wait,
rats.
that was actually 2 rat swarms.
I was trying to question that.
That shouldn't have been there. I didn't actually roll this, guys. I was just going to take away. Yep, he failed.
It's just too many rats in that rat pile, clearly, John.
Yeah. Actually, that guy succeeded.
We'll help you out with that.
So that's 9 points of damage to him.
So can I just point out now that your plan of wiping them out instantly kind of backfired as you're now alone in a swarm of rats.
I thought they'd have like really small health. Oh shit.
Well, we're gonna witness you being eaten alive.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
You run forward and just there's a massive concussive wave out, and a lot of rats just fly and just get completely blown apart.
Does that mean the sewage gets thrown about the place as well?
Unfortunately, it does. So for everybody else in here, you just got splashed.
Nice.
in sewer water.
I just see,
Remy, no.
and I just see Baru like completely drenched in sewer water, looking at Malzira like.
Squeak. That is a 10 to hit.
Me?
Yes.
Doesn't hit.
The other roll he made was a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
But he doesn't get 2 bites, unfortunately.
Okay.
Neff.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Exactly.
Oh no, bursting arrow is 10 foot, isn't it? So that's too big. It's great, we're just gonna longbow. This set. Don't know why this set. just
But that one in particular.
Yeah.
He'll never become a chef.
That is a hit.
I thought.
That is 7 points of damage. You skewer another 2 rats out of the swarm.
Wait, how many are in the swamp?
Quite a few.
Oh, fuck my life.
It's difficult to tell. They're all piling over each other.
Yay.
Yeah, that's...
Grinding mass of rats.
That is another hit.
And same rat pile.
Same rat pile, same rat time.
Yeah.
The rat pile loses cohesion.
Yay!
Barum.
I am going to twat them with my new weapon. Yeah, Warhammer two-handed. 23.
That is a hit.
That is 13 points.
Splut. You just bring it down, and there is just a jam of rats.
Rat jam.
And then I charge in, covered in shit and sewer. And I will twat the ones, these ones, if possible.
Okay.
Does a 10 work?
Oh yes, a 10 does hit.
That is 7. That's impressive, this one.
They are still a cohesive unit.
Then I will jump on them.
I just try to catch a couple of them on spikes. That will hit. And the rat swarm breaks apart.
Oh, sick.
And then I will move a bit forward to join Malzire and then just fling one of the turds that is now on my shoulder towards Malzire.
No, don't do that! Can I
Calrax.
avoid it? I'm avoiding that shit.
Quite literally.
Literally. I am going to.
Damn it. Sorry if you can hear my housemates raging, by the way.
Sorry. I don't really want to waste actual spells on these things.
Do you have any
Just
rings?
use your mace.
Yeah.
Squeak.
You have magical mace.
I can't remember how far I've moved.
10 feet, I think. We were there. About now 15 feet.
So I can get to at least that one. So fuck it, I'm going to try and smack it with me mace.
You miss?
Me mace.
You miss?
Me mace.
You bring your mace down upon the rat swarm.
And I squish. I would have made it glowing because fucking we're in dark.
So that is... It is still there.
Yep. And so that's all I can really do because anything I think I can do is do the thing. Can I do anything? No, I can't do anything as a bonus action that doesn't use a spell slot. So no, that's all I can do.
Malzire.
Yes.
It rolled a 12 to bite you.
Doesn't hit. Be gone, thought.
Squeak will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. and fire a sneak attack at the rat swarm in front of Malzere. Hits and deals a lot of damage.
Another kebab.
17. So 3 or 4 more rats are just skewered on an arrow. Malzere, it is your turn.
Just for the meme, I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery on the swarm right in front of me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, rat, more like prat.
Seriously.
So that's a wisdom save.
Are those very wise rats?
They aren't. They failed it.
Yay! They get it's disadvantage on attacks. It's either disadvantage on attacks or advantage when we attack them. Disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Cool. It's still alive. It's going to try and bite you for or what's left of it that didn't just die to that joke. Rolls. Really wanted to roll a 9. It rolled 9 on both dice.
Cool.
So it just kind of bites at the studs on the leather armor.
Tasty.
Neff.
Well, I'm gonna have to just stroll up a bit and shoot them, really, aren't I?
I mean, you are the archer.
Yep, that's my job.
Seems a thing you'd do.
That is this middle set.
Okay, that is a hit.
I've got a thing against the middle ones today.
You skewer 3 or so rats from the middle group, but there is still a cohesive group.
At this point, it's just shooting practice.
Same again.
That is also a hit. And the last of the rats just squeak.
Yay.
Barham.
Nice.
I shall reckless attack this. And twat the ones that have died from such a vicious joke first.
Okay.
With an 18.
That is a hit.
So that's...
Splut.
Okay, that's death. Then come around and twat the others. With a 20.
That is also a hit.
That is way less impressive.
Splut.
Oh.
Hey.
I didn't even get to hug anyone.
Rip.
Oh, sod it.
Oh, no.
Just jump on them.
You
Just to be sure.
crush the dead bodies of the rats.
Then as I come back out of the water, I just like kind of dry myself like a dog would, like brrr, making sure that Malzere is covered in water.
Malzere, you are now just as moist as everybody else.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you, Waffle Man, for the bits.
Thank you for the bits. Oh my god, we got money.
Waffle Man 2 just cheered with 100 bits and has cheered for a total of 100 bits, because
I cast. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, I am looking at doing a thing at some point soon. I want to implement a thing for bits for the D&D games to have a reason to donate your bits to us.
Yeah.
Coming soon, possibly, if I can work out how to do it.
Well, I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation to clean myself of all the stuff I'm just throwing on me.
I mean, also, the reason of I wanna, that's a good enough reason, and we're very happy with that, Waffle Man, but
That too, yeah.
I was...
So, yeah.
Basically, I was watching some of the Acquisitions Incorporated stuff, and they have a bit bar that fills up, and when it totals out, it gives the party Either a good thing or a bad thing.
Acquisitions incorporated.
So I was thinking of working that one out somehow, but we'll see. It's a spitballing work in progress right now.
Can we just get out the sewers?
We just started talking about this shit. And...
As you've killed off the last of the rats, the object of their fascination floats to the surface, face down in the shallow water. Is a bloated, contorted human corpse.
Oh, never mind. Cal, this is your business.
Well then. Hello.
Nearly every inch of exposed skin is covered in scores of bites. Some portions of it have been stripped completely of flesh, and the bone beneath is a stark white in comparison to the black, rotting flesh. If the smell is any indicator, it has been here for quite a while.
Looks pretty dead.
I will poke it with my warhammer to see if it moves.
It bobs in the water a little bit.
Yep, I concur with your statement here.
I don't really feel there's point in talking to it.
No.
I think he probably just died and got eaten by rats.
Do we just leave him here?
Well, if you want to take him back, be my guest.
I mean, it seems a bit inhumane to just leave him in a sewer.
Perhaps we'll come back.
When we come back this way, which we probably will have to, we will do something.
Alright, that's cool.
Do I need to roll investigation to try and find some things in his pockets?
You can investigate him, if you would like.
I will probably let someone do that, considering my investigation, but I will try nonetheless.
Can you give me advantage? Nope,
Tough.
never mind.
You already rolled it.
Fuck you. Well, I rolled the same to see it.
High five!
Squelch.
Splodge.
It is plain to see that the number of the body bears a number of wounds from what appear to be large claws. You also notice a large number of broken bones.
That's not rats.
Was he thrown down here as a punishment or something?
What made those marks?
Malzere and Barum, you can work out that they would be symptomatic of a fall from a great height.
Oh, he was pushed.
From where? Is there any sign of above us somewhere that might?
Make me a perception check.
Let's do that. No, that's
Holy shit!
Oh my god, you got high in both of us.
Don't jinx it, you jinxed it.
You
You jinxed it, Amy. See, you jinxed it!
You all in unison just look up.
Please don't tell me you're just going to see, like, the alien.
Well, fuck.
Someone else that's fallen and stuck.
Um,
Can't make it down the tube.
You notice a hole set in the center of the ceiling about 30 feet above the floor. You can't tell what room is up there. It looks a fancy room from down here, but it's quite a way up. It is either an indoor room or covered in such a way that you can't see the sunlight from here.
How high is the ceiling in this bit?
30 feet.
Okay.
The hole is about 1 foot wide.
There's no way he could have fit through then. It's just a foot wide.
Well, if he has broken bones, I guess he could have been forced to go through 1 foot.
Oh, ow!
You know.
It would be a tight squeeze, but
But he's dead, so I think he was squeezed.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I will explain to Malzere what happens when you squeeze something that is not in the right proportions for the thing that you're squeezing in through.
Yeah, that's just sex. Let's go.
Huh? Is that how sex works?
I mean, that's what I've been told. Anyway.
Turns to Kalderax for confirmation, because the only one has sex.
At times.
I'll never understand you.
No, you won't.
Let's just leave.
Isthana is also eager for you to continue quite quickly. She adds that it's not the dead bodies down here that you need to worry about, it's the moving corpses.
Why?
Because they're moving corpses.
Oh, more undead!
You don't sense any at the moment.
Alright, I'm gonna leg it
Okay.
down the sewer then.
I apparently understand that she's meaning zombies and not corpses that shouldn't be able to move but move.
She explains to you as you go that Harper spies within Hilsfar have reason to believe that agents of Marimidria... let's try that one again. Myrimidria have infiltrated the court of the First Lord.
Who the what now?
Myrimidria is a underdark community of
Interesting.
drow and no, it's not the drow. That's the other place. Myrimidria are demonic entities.
Interesting still.
She explains that while you are collecting the schedule, if you are able to sniff out these agents, work out who they are, then that will also give you additional targets for when the for when you go on the second segment of the quest.
Okay.
There are 5 members of the court that are close to the First Lord. Councillor Garros the Just, Malkin Greenfeld, Torgrave Needlebaum, Davon Malada, and Davon's sister. Thessaly Malada.
Okay.
Torgrave Needlebaum will be conducting the interviews today to hire additional servers for the party tonight. Otherwise, the only way into the party is by invitation only.
What if we forge an invitation?
Unfortunately, they are unique items and no two look alike.
Shit.
It is a single...
Like they knew we had Tengu.
Odd. It is a single raven's feather delicately painted with the First Lord's personal heraldry.
Why is it always ravens?
Because it's cool. I don't know.
I guess.
You need to get this done quietly.
You think we can get them quietly?
Get in.
Well, we're gonna have to, otherwise we get captured and probably tortured and all kinds of horrible shit.
No
thought
one
you'd be into
captures
that.
me.
I thought you'd be into that, Kel.
Get in, get the information, and get out.
That's plenty enough for barroom.
Sounds doable.
Yeah, let's do it.
You don't sound convinced, Malzire. Again.
No, very convinced.
I don't quite know what's happening with him at the moment, but either way.
He's just laughing too much at his own joke.
After about half an hour of moving through the underground maze of tunnels, Isthana stops at a rather nondescript stone wall and again runs her hands along the wall. And opens another hidden door. Waffleman would like to know what instrument Mal plays.
It is a lute.
The room beyond the door is brightly lit with several torches. Isthana enters the room and sits down on a nearby bench where she kicks off the boots with a disgusted grimace and dons a pair of soft leather shoes that are more matching the rest of her outfit.
I cast prestidigitation on everybody to clean everyone.
Everybody is clean.
Yee.
Barroom is legit surprised at this use of magic from Malzire to be nice towards Barroom for once and not actually not actually being mean.
A knotted rope hangs from a hook secured to the ceiling next to a trapdoor, and Isthana pulls on the rope, making sure it is secure, and climbs up.
No, don't you open that trapdoor!
Don't you open that trapdoor!
She looks down at you and asks, "Are you coming?"
No, I thought we would just stay down here forevermore.
Let's go.
Yep.
Cleanse up.
Cleans up.
Just clean.
How easy is this climb, or isn't it?
It's easy.
Okay.
It's a trifling matter.
It's fine. You just climb up out of the hole in the ground.
We do it.
Um.
Did it.
Use the natives.
Amaze the natives.
You enter a fairly large, well-lit room. Well-lit room, devoid of decoration except for about 6 large mirrors. A single shelf in the room has nothing but rolled-up scrolls upon them. Isthana informs you that each scroll is inscribed with a Disguise Self spell that has been modified to last for 10 hours.
Ooh.
Effectively Polyjuice potion time, yes.
Yeah.
So how many scrolls are there?
There is enough for one each for each of you.
Yay.
5 scrolls.
5 scrolls is also a number.
I'm scared now to do this just to see the results. Because, like, Nephrin's fine, because it's just going to be her ears are gone, but the rest of us...
Yeah. Barroom, when someone gives him the scroll, would be like, I want to do this.
I just love it if it was just Barham, but he just like grows a few. Just slowly.
Already for Barroom, this would be catastrophic.
She beams at you and spreads her arms wide. Welcome to the Rogues Guild. Let's get you out of those unsuitable faces.
Wait, what?
Oh.
We're going to take your face off.
The Rogues Guild.
Let's intelligence this. How can they take my face off? That's not possible.
I wanted to join one of these, but Mox wouldn't let me.
Honestly, Mal, Morg sounds like a dick.
No, he's not.
Well, for all the things you say about him, he sounds like one.
Well, times, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Like
I
you
mean, you
just
can't exactly blame him for not wanting you to be a fucking thief.
well, that's complicated. Anyway.
I just turn to Counter-X and just say, well, that didn't succeed anyways.
I know it didn't succeed, but he tried his best.
Sorry, my friend just PM'd me going, enjoy the removal of your face.
Well, that's interesting.
I assume they're in the chat, not just that's a really randomly well-timed follow-up comment.
Or maybe he's actually trying to remove your face, you don't know that.
I'm scared.
Who wishes to go first?
Ooh, I don't know.
Nephrin,
Fine.
you're the elf, you're the one where it won't be Cinnables that bad.
I get the feeling that Baritone Blur may have been the person who just messaged you. As they just messaged his chat, you don't know my motives.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Well, nice to know your intentions, Scott.
So, Neferit... Let me get this right. Somebody who spellcasts has to read the scroll, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy.
who is spellcasting the spell scrolls?
I guess it has to be me.
So you start with Neferin?
Yeah.
So, for Neferin, Shan, are we literally going with her ears turned to human ears and that's it? Or
Yeah, essentially her face will shift a tiny bit to be a little bit more human, but it's very minor.
who is next?
First of all, Barum would just look at Nephrin like, you haven't changed. That doesn't work. This magic doesn't work, guys.
I just turn around and I'm like, well, let's try it with you then, and I do it on him.
So, Sammy, what does human Barham look like?
Well, first of all, he is taller. He would be... he's tall for a dwarf, so he would be a tall human.
Nice.
So what is the height for a tall human?
Like, in the high 6-foot range.
So...
That's way too tall.
Yeah,
for a
that's
human.
past human.
6'3".
That's not really fast human. You can't have people who like that.
1 moment.
6'3".
The averages for D&D is like 5 foot, like the high 5 foot.
Look, when I was playing on Spiral Falls, literally everyone who played a human marked it as about 7 feet tall.
To be honest,
All freaks.
to be honest, in Space Odysseus, every human every character that is a human player is about 6 foot, I've noticed as well.
As a person who is constantly looked at like a monster because he's 6'5", I can tell you.
Well, I guess he's 6'5" then.
Let's say 6'2", because I think I'm 6'2", so
Okay.
that's giving my height. And so I would like, if possible, that his beard would grow as well, like keep the same height as it would have been when he's a dwarf, but as a human, so it would go up to his belly button.
So ZZ Top.
Yeah, almost. Apart from that, basically Barum bigger and looking more buffier. He would look like a fucking lumberjack, basically. And that's it.
Who does Malzere turn to next?
In the meantime, as he's transformed, Barum is not looking. He's like basically having his eyes closed, like praying in Dwarvish, and just like peeks out and like, what the fuck?
Alright, you can open your eyes now, and I'm just like, inches below you now. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
This is where we find out that Barum is immensely scared of heights. Like even a few feet.
Alright, I'll do Squeak next.
Well, Squeak will be interesting.
So Squeak will turn. The feathers and the beak just melt away into human features. She is pretty. In front of you is a pale human with long, straight brown hair.
Oh.
Reaching down just past shoulder length.
Yeah. You can see Mallory blushing a little bit.
And
You look good.
and for the first time ever, you guys all see Squeak smile.
Melts on the floor. She's too cute. I must love her and protect her. All right. I guess it's you then, Cal.
Go ahead.
I poke you on the head as I do it.
Doesn't work. No. So what does Calderax look like? I think he would pretty much almost look the same, but obviously the ears would become more human-like. The horns would melt away.
Yeah.
I think he'd still have black hair, but he'd turn just like pale. Not really very pale, but kind of like just like Caucasian.
Yeah.
And I think he'd have kind of piercing blue eyes. I'm thinking.
Okay. Huh.
So,
I don't know. I think the horns suit you more.
kind of feels head, looks at hands. This is normal then.
You look okay.
Well, thank you.
Oh yeah, on your horn ring's gonna like fall off a side.
That's what I was gonna say. I would like the horn rings to just kind of like melt into like the ears to just become earrings.
Ah, that's cute.
I will also point out that disguise self is illusory.
Yeah.
You don't actually turn into the thing.
So even with all the changes, you still have the horns underneath. Squeak still has the beak.
And feathers.
We just have to make sure nobody kisses Squeak.
Or tries to like high-five Baron.
Someone goes to kiss Squeak and gets their eye poked out.
Goes to kiss Squeak and it stops about half a foot away from the face.
So I have a question for Baron, since it's an illusion. If someone tries to lop off my head, does he swing in the wind?
Yep.
If someone tries to poke your chest, like in the middle of your chest, you'll go sailing over your head.
That would be amazing in fights. The guy's like, I can't kill him. What the fuck?
Okay, and then I cast it on myself.
And
The hair goes from like the hair's still purple, but it's like a deep purple that looks like it could be black at the same time. The eyes kind of like go to normal eyes, but they stay golden. The horns melt off. His skin kind of goes to a light copper. And I don't know, it's just like despite the horns going, like he still has his side fringe and everything, so yeah. So, what do you think?
Not bad.
What do you mean not bad?
I don't know. I prefer the horns as well, actually.
Well, it's only 10 hours.
Anyway, we have a ball to go to.
Like, Barham, how's the weather up there?
Baron doesn't respond, he's just looking at Squeak.
Aww.
Do we have any outfits for this ball?
I mean, we're working it, aren't we?
You have disguise self.
Oh shit, yeah.
I would love the person who brought us there to be like, you're literally disguising yourself, guys. Do I have to
Alright.
repeat everything I say?
This person is still with us at the moment, isn't she?
Yes.
So what roles will we be working as? Yeah.
The intention is for you to go in and work as servers at the party, so you'll be wait staff.
Stuff.
Can't we be entertainment instead?
That might work. You will have to try that with Torgrave.
Well, I'm always up for a challenge.
Squeak will look at you, Barham, and just say, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway.
He's slightly distracted, Squeak.
Okay.
We'll give him a while.
Suddenly, Barum kind of realizes that he's been standing with jaw open for like 5 minutes. Just turn his gaze to Malzro and Calrus. Barely notices that they completely change and just walks there.
Let's go.
Neff will just pat him on the shoulder as he walks past, like, there. Just, you know.
The shoulder that is currently somewhere around waist height.
Yeah.
Gotta pat the illusion shoulders.
You go to pat my shoulder and you should basically just go through me.
Oh yeah. Pat him on the arm.
If you pat me on the arm, I think you are patting my ear right now.
Enjoy that.
Oh my god.
That must be a weird feeling, actually.
Meow.
Squeak will go up to Neferin.
Was there fur in that polyjuice potion, Sean?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, Squeak.
I need help over here.
Why?
I am a Kenku,
Yeah, we're-
and my speech is made up of
Gonna have
mimicking.
We're gonna have to set you up with some phrases, aren't we? I mean, you don't need to be able to say too much, I guess. What drink can I get you? What can I get you?
What can I get you?
Drink, sir. Drink, madam.
Drink,
Yeah.
drink, sir. Drink, madam.
Be careful of the type of voice. It needs to be a female voice who says that.
Yeah.
Because if suddenly female Squeak suddenly speaks with Caldorax's voice.
Kind of scoring.
Yeah.
Be careful
So-
of the type of voice.
Hi, Neferin. Say all the things.
What can I get you, sir? Can I get you, madam? I'll be back with that shortly.
Nice.
And then other things like, may I take an order? May I clear your table?
Excuse me.
Yes. Excuse me, please.
See, this is Squeaky. If you ever go into the business, you can use these as well.
It goes perfectly with my butt.
What?
Saying that in the
Wait, what the? Who the fuck said that?
That's me. Do you remember when we had the session where we went to the couch area in the castle, and Bar sat on the couch and said, "It goes perfectly with my butt."
I love this sofa.
Aww.
It goes perfectly with my butt. That's what he said.
That's amazing.
But
Oh, no.
taken out of context, of course.
Neff will also have run through a few different types of drinks and some kind of sentence to be able to say, I will find someone to take your food order, just in case there is any food things that come up. So essentially she can take drinks orders. If food comes up, she can find someone else and bring them over, is the idea.
Aye.
Hi. So, anyways,
Anyway.
Wow.
so
Hmm.
What's good party etiquette then?
Oh,
Party
blimey.
etiquette.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've kind of played stuff at parties and taverns before, but never, like, grand balls.
Well, as you'll be wait staff, it'll be pretty much don't speak unless spoken to.
What?
Unless you're trying to garner some degree of attention, which places the excuse me madam, excuse me sir, or just try to get in their line of sight so that they notice and you have whatever they are asking for. If they engage you in conversation, by all means, but still try to remain polite, no crass language or anything like that.
Oh, we can't swear.
Unfortunately not.
Oh, what? That's
Bothersome.
not good. Bothersome, yeah.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
So, yes, pretty much.
Alright then.
And if anything goes wrong, it'll be your fault and you will do something to fix it.
Why is it my fault?
You have to understand that these people, nothing is ever their fault.
Oh. Well, crap.
So if you drop a fork too loudly on their table, I'm very sorry, sir. Straight away.
Wouldn't that just be even more annoying?
They'll expect it.
Oh.
Even if they're not
Alright.
particularly paying attention.
Alright.
Well, it's time to put these disguises to the test then, says Isthana.
Yeah.
Before-
We're gonna die.
Is it worth someone that isn't Neff being around Squeak to lend a hand should Squeak need it?
Possibly.
Only because at present Neff and Squeak will have the same voice.
I was gonna say.
Normally I would say Neff would be a good shout for that, but
I would say possibly Malzere, as he does have some knowledge in portraying a female, so if there's any need to add to a vocabulary, he can. In emergencies.
I could try my best.
Friend Malzere.
Yeah, we're best friends.
Special friend.
Oh.
Special friend.
Oh, special friends, yeah. Whatever you prefer.
Tanny says they accidentally took a nap.
Aw.
It is alright.
In other words, you close your eyes and it's been several hours.
It's how I actually take naps.
It's
Only today.
nap mode.
Isthana opens the door slightly and pokes her head out of the room. Okay, it looks like it's safe to leave the room. Come quickly.
I'm scared.
Calm down.
You
No, Malzare's not scared. I'm petrified.
Oh, you're petrified, Amy, are you?
Yeah,
you step through the door to the room and into a well-used privy.
Privy. It just gets worse, doesn't it?
The door itself blends perfectly into the back of the privy. Which then...
This won't be suspicious at all, as we all leave this same privy.
That is why we are doing it quietly.
Alright.
Isthana leads you to the front of the building and out into the bright sunlight and onto the streets of Hilsfar. And points up to the west, where you can see the Tower of the First Lord, which is the tallest structure in the city and can be seen from basically everywhere.
Lovely.
Oh, woo.
With a flourish and a bow, Isthana says that she can't take you any further, as if you get seen in the presence of such a prominent member of the Rogues Guild, you will not get jobs.
Okay.
Torgrave Needlebaum is set up in a tent outside of the tower. So make haste and go there now.
Yeah, let's do that. Bye. Alright, I suggest that Cal does all the talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a shit idea, Baron, but we got no other choice.
How do you even walk being so big?
You put one foot in front of the other.
I can't see my foot.
Oh. Yeah, you're a bit. You step widely.
And
just
now you
have
see,
to trust your feet know where to land.
and now you see Barum waddling more than walking.
Oh, I love it. We'll just say you've got a limp or something.
Squeak.
Hey, I've no limp.
Yeah, but I feel like this is like the conversation that parents have with kids when they try to lie about their age to like get into restaurants for free or something, and then they'll just have a knock about it.
Squeak suppresses a giggle.
Alright, for now, you're Barum, you had an accident, and you got a bit of a limp.
I am an accident. I have a bit of a barroom, and
Like I said, we're letting Cal do the talking.
Yes, I think you're right. I think I should do the talking.
Just step slightly longer steps than you normally would.
basically
So
Barum
that-
kind of takes Nephrin apart from the group and just say, "Could you just teach me very, very quickly how to walk?"
Yeah. Neff will give you an idea of sort of step length. So stood beside her, she will show you where to place feet to get a decent stride length for your height.
It's just Calric watching hand on chin. Just, I can't believe this is my day.
And just kind of nudge you every so often to get you to stand up straight so that you're not actually looking at your feet.
Because he is actually doing that every time he's looking right. They actually reach the ground. But for, like basically, Barum at one point just say, "You know what? I always made fun of people that were tall for being too tall, but it's actually fucking horrible."
Malzare and Calderax, as you are crossing the city and this lesson in locomotion is going on, could the pair of you make me perception checks?
Sure.
Perception checks from little old me. 7.
Oh, fuck.
Apparently 7.
Never mind.
So squeak.
Squeak, anyone?
Why do we always match?
Because even the game wants you to be together.
I guess we're both just admiring how sexy the others are. You look.
I think he'd be like kind of like really kind of weirded out by like his own skin,
Yeah.
because obviously he's never been this pale before.
Mal's just surprised he's got a tan, of all things, to be honest.
I think as well he kind of like keep like kind of like feeling at his back because it's weird to not have a tail.
Oh, yeah.
Is the tail actually there but just unseen?
Yes.
Technically yes, but it's like he keep like looking around at it. It's like
But he also can't see it.
We've got to make sure people don't trip over the tails.
I think we're gonna have to like wrap them around our leg or something.
But then we'll walk weird.
Well, like, if you wrap them along like all the way down, then it doesn't do anything.
As you said,
Alright.
as you said, but now we'll walk where you just hear Barum in the background say, "Say you have a limp."
Right, anyway.
I mean, believe me, I know how to. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
some girls like it when. Never mind. This is not the time nor
This
place.
is not the time. No.
Malzare,
Yeah.
can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh, what the fuck? Hey, nice.
You, through some sort of preternatural sense that you hadn't even heard it coming, you just dive to one side, and a pair of horses just charge past where you just were standing. And you watch as a pair of young men on horses are just racing down the middle of the street and just disappear into the distance.
Look where you're going, lass!
So much for etiquette.
And you just hear from the horse, just one of them turns, "Go suck one!"
I will remember him and his family.
Calderex will remember that. Cal, what have we spoken about vengeance on people's families?
Oh, come on, he almost ran you over.
He didn't run you over though. Aw, you care!
Slaps him with tail that is unseen.
Anyways.
Have you learned to walk yet, Bar?
I think at this point Barum would just go like, guys, I can walk. It's easy. Look, one foot.
Waddling along like an infant taking a bath.
I love it.
I've got this image in my head.
Well, now you know what to do next. The first step.
This massive 6-foot-odd man with a massive beard waddling along a baby's first
I regret nothing.
Neff's still following along, just trying to correct him slightly as he goes, but it's not working.
Actually, you just have to imagine someone of about Sean's height. so wonderfully enjoying the fact that he can walk.
So Sean, hurry up with growing the beard so you can cosplay Barum.
I'm trying, okay? It's really hard to grow a beard.
Hey! Now that's true, you have a character that fits nice. Human Barum.
Oh, I love it.
Squeak is walking along a few steps behind Barum and Neff, just suppressing laughter.
Hey guys, maybe at some point I'll be able to dance. Neff, anything ready?
Let's take it one step at a time, mate. One step at a time. I'm so funny.
Looks at you, displeased.
I will remember that.
Flashes cheeky grin.
Squeak will say to Barum, "Such a darling, ain't you?"
Barum instantly blushes so fucking much that he turns as red as his beard. And he kind of hides behind his beard as well.
The Tower of the First Lord is bustling with activity. Deliveries are being checked by red plumes. Groundskeepers are busy sprucing up the gardens, and a large tent has been erected a short distance from the tower. A line of people leads inside the tent, where a man surrounded by red plumes sits at a table speaking to each person in turn.
No, I'm just imagining the group walking to that guy, and you've got Barum with this very weird walk of a man who's just learned how to walk. How to get spotted immediately.
Yeah. That group there, I want them at my parts.
Alright, go on, Cal.
Oh, is this the guy we have to approach, or is this... I'm
The
assuming so.
the guy you have to approach is at the front of the line.
Oh, we've got a queue.
Approach the man at the front of the line.
Eventually, you can make it to the front. Would you guys like to make me perception checks?
Well, it worked so well the last time, didn't it?
Yeah, why not? That's better.
Did I completely switched with Malzire in terms of perceptions?
Must have done.
Holy fuck, I'm the second in line.
Everybody but Malzire notes that you managed to overhear the conversation happening at the front of the queue as you are approaching, and you discern that those who offer tidbits of gossip tend to be asked less questions than those who don't.
Okay, what gossip do we know?
Do we know any gossip?
I don't think we do.
I can walk. Is that a gossip?
Can we roll history to try to discern any gossip we've heard recently?
You can do.
Just to mix it up.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the perception thing we failed earlier was to find some gossip. If we're doing history, fuck it. 23.
Well, history doesn't certainly mean that it's new gossip. Gossip from a year ago.
Has there been any people we've heard of recently? Just anything?
The gossip of 200 years ago. Calderex knows all of it.
Yeah, literally, I can just give like an old piece of gossip that's like hundreds of years old. And
Maybe they won't know it's
hang on a minute, there is Farengal's already dead.
You... Oh, bugger.
Oh, bugger.
Oh, Tushenfai.
Fiddlesticks.
You all can share rumours of street racing.
Street racing.
Street racing.
As you notice that happening.
We do.
Yeah, just a minute ago.
Calderex, you also can think that maybe some gossip about the way down and the sinkhole that just opened might be a way to go. You also remember that you recently heard about a fight in the arena in Hilsfar itself, where there was an incident with some of the fighters running wild and starting a riot. Which you guys heard about at the start of the Eventide Abbey adventure.
Wow.
So I think Neff will try and pick up something for Squeak to say along the lines of nasty business, what happened down at the arena. And a couple of other phrases along those lines to do with the arena.
Okay.
Kids these days.
In front of you.
Yeah, hope it doesn't happen again. Seems security's better. That kind of thing.
Hardly safe walking street.
In front of you sits a rather gaunt man with a goatee and a balding head. He looks up at you and with a bored smile and pleasant voice says, "Welcome to the Tower of the First Lord. Are you here to offer your services? If so, I would like to ask you a few questions."
Okay. Well, we are after some work. Ooh.
He doesn't look any of you in the eyes. And, so what is your name and why are you here?
My name?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you should probably change your...
Don't worry. I've already been making a massive list of possible names. Hold on.
Well, he is distracted.
I'm Matthias Silvercraft.
Okay. You note that he spells it wrong.
I am not going to correct him.
Suggestions on names for Squeak?
Hang on. Human, female, Scarlet Falone.
Yeah, let's go with it.
My name is Scarlet Falone.
Unless you've got a Maddie on speed dial and can find out.
I do not.
She's working at the moment, so that's
Damn it.
possible.
Insert name here. We'll have to go back into edit.
Yeah.
I am insert name here.
Anyone else wanting a name?
Well, Barum will need a name, because Barum Deep Basher I don't think sounds very human.
So, say stop when...
Stop.
You are... Lloyd Greylock.
Okay.
Right.
Why not?
I'm just gonna flick through my backstory very quickly. I'm Mexar Denzi.
Lloyd what?
Greylock.
Greylock.
Can everyone type their new names into the chat so we don't get confused?
I'm actually writing this on a tissue.
Right, that's mine.
How fast do you think I will forget it? Insert name here.
Why is it every game I'm in now has somebody called Matthias in it?
There was a possibility that I was gonna... I've got a lot of other ones.
You please.
I was gonna go for a Bartholomew Buckman.
Alright, Matthias.
I could have gone for Errol Castillo.
That's too many L's, Sammy.
Jandar Blackwell. Wayne Embers.
I think we get the picture.
We get the picture. You had a lot of names.
I literally was just going through randomizing.
I mean, I was looking at my character's biography, but he never met anything except dwarves, so it didn't really help.
Any other names required?
Yeah.
Nephrin, maybe?
Nephrin. Okay, say stop.
No, I will probably just... She is just going to shift her name around.
Fair enough.
It is just, Farine Larison. A bit of a shift. It means she will have more chance of remembering it, is her theory.
He notes all of these names down incorrectly.
You look pretty bored, sir.
It's a long day.
Well, it can't be easy doing all this.
No, it's dreadfully boring.
No, what with recent events, I mean, there's not more exciting things happening in this town anyway, isn't there?
I can't believe what happened at the arena,
Exactly!
says Squeak.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a shit show and a half, ain't it?
Yeah, I heard all sorts of horrible things about that.
I sure hope it never happens again.
I do too.
Yeah.
Seconded. Doesn't know what to say.
What experience do you have serving large numbers of people?
Well, I have quite. We all have a large amount of experience on it. I mean, we're often called to places like Waterdeep, Neverwinter, like that, to assist in places like that.
Excellent.
We just happen to be in the area.
It seems our good fortunes hold. What skills do you bring to this position that you feel will help make the masquerade a success?
Pulls out the loot.
Jesus Christ, this is an actual application form.
I mean, if you want entertainment, mate, I'm an expert.
He does possess a great amount of prowess with the loot.
Excellent. We might be able to fit that in. I believe entertainment is sorted, but you never know what will
in case
happen.
You need some, sometimes with these things you need like a minstrel somewhere else, like in the gardens maybe, or something like. I don't know.
Yeah, I can work anywhere.
I will pass it on.
Besides that, we're all fairly used to working in a group, which means we can work more efficiently.
Excellent. Actually, I think that 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think we're full up. We're not going to need you. Bye.
I think with the
That happened to me so many times.
I think with the 5 of you, I have managed to select enough people.
Oh, brilliant.
There is much to be done in anticipation of tonight's festivities. I trust you are ready to put in an honest day's work.
Well, of course.
Wouldn't give you any less, mate.
He stands on his heels and turns and beckons you to follow. And behind you, a patrol of red plume guards falls in line. And he leads you down the path that seems to lead you back up to the tower.
Let's go.
Waddles, waddles, waddles.
As you round the side of the tower, you can see that most of the delivery wagons have been led here, and dozens of labourers are unloading the cargo and taking it into the tower. And every couple of carts, Torgrave will stop at one of the wagons and peek in and nod to the driver. And eventually you are led to... you and the other... labourers are led into the tower.
Just this way into the sacrificial, party chamber.
And you leave what was the quiet serenity of the tower grounds behind as you enter a large room full of yelling people.
Oh, shit.
There are porters running to and fro, carrying and occasionally dropping heavy loads. The usual cacophony of people that precedes a well-planned event, the unloading and setting up of tables and chairs and statues and just making sure that everything is in the right place. He leads you and the other labourers to a middle-aged woman who is flanked by a pair of red plume guards, and introduces you to Melkin Grenfield, who is the First Lord's Chamberlain. She needs to hire... she needs to approve of... she needs to approve of all of the new hires. It is her job to control access to the First Lord.
Well, we're fucked.
Malkin...
I mean, that was pretty sad that we were fucked in any way.
No, we don't want these ones. Fuck it, start killing everyone.
Malkin draws a sheaf of papers from her desk and indicates that each of you must sign their names, or at the very least mark an X on the paperwork.
Cool.
Everyone writes X.
I think no, Calrog's probably doing X as well.
You are also led in an oath that you do not divulge anything that you see or hear during the course of your employment.
Oh yeah, we're gonna divulge fucking everything. No, not at all.
Darwin will instantly forget he has sworn an oath as he's...
As soon as he takes a step outside, I can't believe what
Would you guys like to make me an investigation check?
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm excited now.
No. Hey,
Matching with everyone.
man.
Come on, Squeak, save us. Please.
You see a slight smirk spread across Squeak's face. And she nudges Neferin in the ribs.
Yes. What do you think?
God, how do I say this?
I don't know. How do you say that?
As Sean has been saying repeatedly, why is it always the person who can't talk thing?
You
Also, with
At
which
this point-
voice?
Very quickly and under her breath, Neff will give Squeak the various clock times for like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock for directions, and then up, down, just as a kind of to give us a chance of figuring out what she's looking at.
under her breath, she whispers to you in Balram's voice.
Oh fuck!
You can't possibly be serious. And then indicates to you that she has seen something on the table.
Okay.
And just as you are being led away, you catch a glimpse of some very official-looking paperwork on the table that Squeak has had a chance to look at the front page of.
Ah. Okay.
Sorry. Fucking Waffleman just sent me a picture of Malzaray seeing Squeak for the first time. Hang on, let me share it in the D&D chat. Oh my god. Where is it? I'll put it in artwork channel.
D&D at work.
The artwork is astounding.
I love how you got the colour of his tongue right.
Pretty accurate, really.
Yeah.
Such expression in the eyes as well.
Such expression. Much delight.
Everyone.
And Jeff is like,
Torgrave will then lead you to the kitchens, where he hands to you each a single gold piece, which will be your pay for the day.
Oh, what the fuck?
Shut
But
up!
first. Rookie error.
Alright, 585. How generous.
1 gold piece.
Where's me character sheet? I will
Where's
add
the
that.
character sheet?
I don't know! Accrington Stanley, who are they? Exactly. You love me, really?
Yes, I do. Sure.
Oh god, no. I'm going to start the next section and then we will finish.
Okay.
We will wrap up after this introduction.
It's
Okay,
getting
okay.
interesting.
Unfortunately, yes.
No.
There is a buzz of excitement in the air as the time for the party draws nearer and nearer. The decorations have been hung, the food has been prepared as the guests begin making their way up the winding road to the Tower of the First Lord. Torgrave Needlebaum gathers you all to give his final instructions, and accompanied by 2 soldiers carrying a number of wrapped packages, he says, "Thank you all for your help in preparing for this joyous occasion. As you know, this is a masquerade, so we have provided costumes and masks for you to wear. It is only fitting those that serve the First Lord and his illustrious guests not be dressed as beautifully as them. So the First Lord thought it fitting that the servers at tonight's party be dressed as the rabble that no longer plague our city thanks to his great law.
Are you fucking serious?
You will
At this
find...
point, at this point, Barn's face is like this.
You will find appropriate costumes in these packages. You may, of course, trade amongst yourselves if you prefer to be a specific lower race.
John, you're a fucking troll.
But I love it.
And with that, Torgrave dons a fine porcelain mask and leaves the room.
Oh.
I just say to Malzere, like, mutter to Malzere, remind me to kill him afterwards.
Ooh, with pleasure.
You each pick up a package of disguise.
Let me guess.
Do we roll for it?
Do they match what we are?
Do you just happen to get?
I'm gonna let you happen to get the right races.
No, crazy. I want Malzere to have a dark-skinned tiefling, and I get a purple.
Oh my god.
Neferin, you open a mask with long elven ears that droop and are tipped with tufts of coarse hair.
Ugh,
Nice.
that's not nice.
It's very, very fitting for how they see us. Clearly, it says a lot.
Yeah.
Barham, you pull out a mask of a dwarf with a very large, bulbous, vein-shot nose.
The expression on Barum's face is, if there was an indicator of getting triggered, it's turning into the dark red zone right now.
How does Barham wear that mask if his size is an illusion?
We'll not go into that.
Glaze over that.
Are we gonna have to like create some hat that he wears?
A wizard did it.
Yeah, fair.
It's magic, shut up.
We'll go with that. Malzere, you open a pure onyx-skinned tiefling box, and you pull forth a mask that is just a horrific, demonic visage with many barbed antlers and vicious eyes and fangs that just stick up past the nose.
He'll just smile and wear it anyway because to him this is kind of just like another costume, so he's cool with it.
And similarly, Calderax, you pull out a purple of the same.
Yes, I thought that's how they saw us.
And Squeak is not provided with a Kenku costume because they didn't think of that. So Squeak...
Don't just have a bird face.
I'm going to give Squeak the gnome outfit.
So that way, every character that Matty played ended up being a gnome at some point.
Yeah. Maddie has a type. Unfortunately, the people of Hilsfar see the gnomes as ugly, bulbous-eyed little creatures.
Fenthwick wants a word with you.
Seraphim wants several words with you.
Many hundreds of miles away, a gnome just goes, "Fuck you, Hilsfar!"
Don't worry, Hilsfar will be burning to the ground before we go by barroom standards right now.
And if not, we know people who do know how to burn places down real well.
I mean, we can easily burn places down, it's fine.
We'll just have to reroute some other characters to give it the second burn, just to be sure.
Anyway, that is where I'm going to wrap up tonight's session. You guys are preparing for the party. You're getting the costumes on. I will at some point let Maddie know what happened and ask her what Squeak's fake human name should be.
I love that everyone changed his name except Calderax so far.
No, he changed it a different way.
Yeah, my character's name is...
That.
We will be back not next week, because next week is the next curse of this vampire dude. We will be back the week after with the continuation of the Golden Tooth, where we will see how the party goes.
Several hundred dead.
Probably.
And then on Sunday, Sean and Amy and myself will be back for Storm King's Thunder. Actually, I probably should say Friday before we get to Sunday, shouldn't I? That's the way that weeks work.
Probably.
Yeah.
On Friday, Sean will be back with Flowers at the End of the World, as Kandra will be pressing on with trying to save the town of Red Larch from some form of an elemental threat. So tune in for that, guys. On Sunday, I take the DM's chair back from Jeff as the group continues to press on through Lynn Amala and aim to take the Cloud Giant Castle for their very own. Monday next week, Sean and myself will be back on our Minecraft server as we will be continuing to mine and craft. I can't remember what specifically we said our next objective was.
We've got various options, but we need to have a look to see what is most pressing. I think.
We need to work something out. We'll then be back Wednesday next week for Curse of this Vampire Dude, which Tanny has just said, I forgot that I DM too. Friday of next week, we will be starting the first of the final boss fight one-shot show one-shots, which is my current plan to play some games that aren't necessarily D&D. We will be starting off with the Ministry of Extra Mundane Affairs as Amy, Ben, Sean? Did I say Sean? Yeah. Sean. You said me. And Michael will be joining the Ministry of Extra Mundane Affairs in Britain in 1941. And will be exploring something weird and kooky.
The Addams Family?
Maybe. An altogether ooky.
Yeah.
Then on the Sunday after that, we will be back in the Tomb of Annihilation itself within Omu for more of the Tomb of Annihilation as the Tomb of Annihilation, Tomb of Annihilation, Tomb of Annihilation.
As we tomb in Annihilation tomb.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the follows. If you haven't done so already, please... Not the Tomb of Annihilation. Not Inhalation. That's a different tomb. I wonder, do my credits roll the bits? Goes.
I don't know, John, do they?
I don't know either. Let's find out. We will be back.
Looking hopeful.
We will be back next time with more of this and with some other stuff in between then and now. For now, guys, farewell. Thank you so much and good night.